And it's right back to the booster pass. And a tour course as well. Berlin Byways is one of the tracks that makes me the saddest because it was shoved into the Moon Cup. And like, just look at the other 3 courses. The whole cup is brought down so much because of this one track. At least it comes with the benefit of being the first track, meaning it can only get better with each race. I promise, I don't hate all the tour courses. It's just that the bad ones are really bland, and somehow often messy at the same time. Berlin Byways is kind of like having spaghetti with plain tomato sauce. It's not the worst thing out there, and it's very tangled, as you can see from the map, but like, there's just better options that can make it far more delightful. No, seriously, look at this map. The map is supposed to be a tool to help gauge the going-ons of a track. The distance, incoming blue shells, potential threats, but the more the race was spread out, the more of a tangled mess it looks like. You know, kind of like that spaghetti analogy I was just making. And of course, with spaghetti courses, it also means more of those stupid arrows. Ugh. Thankfully, the roads do feel easy enough to follow overall. Maybe ignore my awful driving though. I was playing pretty loose for some reason, I don't know why. But let's talk about some of the features of this track. There are plenty of splits in the track, and I actually think one of the early ones in the subway path is supposed to be a shortcut that inherently takes longer. My terrible driving notwithstanding, I think the benefit of a double item seems pretty lackluster for a reward for taking longer, considering it's only 5 seconds prior that you get item blocks. Then there's this other split that gives you booster pads to go on, but it's also just kind of far out of the way. As a result, I don't think it actually speeds you up at all. These are really small nitpicks in the grand scheme of things, but it's the little things that move the track rating up or down. In this case, down. Oh, whoa, I didn't know the Berlin Wall was made of womps. I think this is the only time womps are in the game. Someone in the comments, feel free to fact check me on that. I legit don't recall. They fall right before you reach them, so they're not really obstacles so much as they are ways to ramp off of, despite the fact they're not shaped like a ramp. So that way you can get jump boosts, which would be novel, but it's kind of annoying that you're also boosting on a turn because you're in the air and have less control. The track layout here isn't actually all that difficult. I just kind of drove awful because I was playing as Golden Mario and I'm not used to that. So something I did appreciate is the traffic. Nearly all the time the traffic is actually going to be going in the same direction, which gives the players ample time to react to it, but still offers a little bit of the player's attention, making what is a fairly wide and mostly straightaway track a little more interesting, although it really is just all road, no traction elements like usual. With a park to drive through, which is okay I guess. Visually, Berlin looks pretty, though it's kind of a blocky architecture. I've not been to Berlin, but I do know the architecture is quite exquisite, so it's a shame it's not reflected a little better. But I know Mario Kart is going for more of a specific design style, so I can excuse this. Unlike the characters on the sidelines, hello? I seriously don't get why Nintendo thought it would be a great idea to make the characters so big, and then on top of that, stick them right at the front. They do this a lot in the booster course, and by putting them up front just draws attention to how ridiculous they are. It's borderline distracting. If Nintendo wants you to think there's an audience watching and make sure you can see them, just move them back. Smaller models up front can make more sense because we can still tell they're there. I think the other biggest miss is that Berlin Byways never incorporated more of Mario Kart 7's features at least. In case you missed 7 on the 3DS, it was actually the originator of the glider and the underwater driving, and we get like one glider section, which is quaint, but I've also noticed a fair amount of water, so why not take us underwater at some point? It's not like other superior tour courses haven't, just seems like a missed opportunity. But then again, I guess that's most of the other lower tiered tour courses, just missed opportunities. Let me know if you feel the same about Berlin Byways, and if you made it to the end of the video, don't forget to subscribe. I've been enjoying this project, and honestly, I put a lot of effort into it. Stay tuned for number 92.